Oof, this switching between computers thing is getting interesting. My face is super washed out. What are you gonna do? Let me try it without this real quick. Might actually be a little better. Okay. Howdy. Let's exit that real quick. Just doing a little bit of work on the bot. And I did some poking around in here as well. On dev mini. Oh, you know what? Shh. Let me check something here. Yeah, okay. That makes a little bit more sense. I was hoping that I had set up OBS to properly offload to video. Apparently I have not, so I'm gonna be a little bit stuttery this stream. Hopefully be fixed by the next stream. All right, so let's cover the things I've looked at, the things I've done. Number one, last time I was working on the file systems. There's one file system in particular that just won't go away, at least in the warnings, but it is currently disabled. So, and I did a little bit of changing. So first things first. I put everything together into a cis.conf because I have a feeling that there's going to be more that gets added. Just threw everything together. Also, I had it set to bin false, and to be honest, I wasn't really understanding what was happening there or why. I figured I'd read up on it and come back, and that's what I'm doing now. So having this set to true tells the kernel, when the kernel attempts to install this, that it was successful by running a program that just always says success. It won't run the actual install. And the reason that you want that is that you don't actually want the kernel having to deal with errors, because it's not designed to do that. It's designed for everything to be hunky-dory, and if it throws a problem, then it throws a major problem. So these are all set up properly. You want them to be true, or you want them to run the program that returns true rather than running the install. We want to go back to wazuh. I still don't know how to say it. We'll figure it out. Maybe. Probably not. And we want secret password. There we go. One thing I need to figure out, I put the chat box back up, but like right now it'll be white text on a white background, which is less than ideal. I wonder if I can switch this into dark mode. I would think it would be... I would think it would be in here. Stack management, maybe? Is there a settings here? Miscellaneous, maybe? Is this hurting my eyes? I can't even imagine what it's doing to you guys. Maybe here? Oh, interesting. Index, log level, health check. wandering statistics, different logos. It's not miscellaneous. Wait, did I see something here? Nope. Let's do a quick check. Get this up and running just so that we have our show notes. And what else? We got our show notes, we got our URLs, and then we have our software that we went over. So right now, I just want to set a dark mode. Stack Management Advanced. Oh, really? Heading. Dark mode. That's better. I think that's better for everyone involved, right? Oh, wow. Yeah, that's far gooder. So I guess we can just say we used this one in our links. All right, meanwhile, back at the ranch. Are you just loading? Oh. Sometimes the way that these are set up when they're on top of the, what are we on top of? Grafana. I feel like I should know. Oh, open search. It ends up being a little odd. Oh, that's cool. Because, yeah, I rebooted right there. But what are you looking for? Why are you the most active? So I added both of these. This is the one that we're in the process of rebuilding. This is kind of the standard, just so I can compare them and make sure that we're moving forward properly, which is what we want at the end of the day, right? So all we care about is failed. There's a couple of things that are interesting in here, like a separate partition exists for var-temp, right? But if we do mount, technically, there is a separate partition. It's a separate LVM. So, I mean, unless it actually wants it to act like it's its own volume group as well, I'm not going to accept that as a solution. So some of these, also this one, the free VFX. If I run this, it says that in fact both of these conditions are met, but it's still saying that it's not there. So there's a little bit of maybe in here that I'm just going to look at and go, okay, it's set that way, it's good enough. All right, so now separate partition for var-temp, and let's see, we have a separate partition for var, but not another one for var-temp. Interesting. Okay, so they are different. So does that mean I'm gonna have to shrink the primary volume and add a little bit more to var-temp, right? So we need, this is where I always get screwed. LVM is kind of oddball to me. Let me do this real quick, because I don't know. If all of my test crap was still left in there. So that's gone now. Just clearing out my chat window, hopefully. I was running some tests with the Albato. Alright, so first thing I gotta do is I gotta look up some LVM commands. Actually, I need LV display. I think I'm gonna have to do all this as sudo too. Which means I may as well just switch over to root. Let's give you the whole window. Oh, that helped a lot. So at volume group, root volume group, var volume group, swap, which you just gotta go. Temp has its own K, and home has its own. Let's take care of swap real quick. It's something we're gonna have to do for Kubernetes anyway, so let's just take care of it. Now, do I get rid of it on the... Let me find, I think I have it on here. What was it called? Is it Tux Paint? Nope. Penta, that's the one I had. But I don't have it on this machine. I think I actually have to install it on the other machine as well. So let's do that real quick. But we need to do it on this machine. What? Where do I install Penta then? Let's try it the proper Linux way. Microbiome. Yeah, I don't think that's right. Of course, it's a PPA. Let's see. Maybe it wasn't Penta then. do another. Man, it's always, do you have to use snap? Do you use Flatpak? Do you use some rando person's PPA so you can use apt? Let's see what Ubuntu offers directly. I know this is just going to be a snap, but at least it's digital painting. Let's try this guy. Why not? And throw the mouse on the floor. My desk has a slight slant to it, and I need to put a clip here that just holds the mouse cable up to a certain point. Come on. And OBS. I really thought I had it working with the video card, but apparently I do not. 'Cause I'm only using 25%. My goal at some point is to get a capture card so I can just have this machine that I'm using right now kicking out to another machine that's handling all the streaming. Then I don't have to worry about it. We're just going to do a new one. Man, this is way too much. Way too much. But I guess it'll do. Can we just, yeah. All right, so the entire point of this, the purpose, well, first things first. We do not need, ay caramba. No, I just want, okay. I just want to draw, man. I don't need all this. Should I be using this? Nope. Are you gonna do it? Oh, I need to change the color, I bet. We'll just do that. Yeah, okay. No, that's not what I want. I mean, this would be really cool if I wasn't. Yeah, we'll just do that. Okay. So the entire purpose of this was so that I can kind of do a quick level set on still painting in black. Can I do it here? Does this do it? All right, that'll work. So it seems blurry, but it's not blurry. Okay, so LVM has LV and L logical volumes. Oh, no, and no, it has volume groups, volume group commands, and then it has, what's the other one? Well, let's just look at it. Look at the LVM man page. when all else fails. Should I just be doing this on the computer that I'm doing it on to make sure that I have all the right commands? Of course. There we go. We have volume groups or logical volumes. So VG or LV. And if we go back to here, that's LV display. And then we do VG display. And that shows the volume groups is the actual hard drives, which puts us back to here. Volume group is hardware. And then the logical volume is how that hardware is split up. I think, and this is always, so VG display, right? EV display. That's the physical volumes. So volume groups are made of physical volumes, which goes to hardware. And then the hardware goes to the volume, the logical volumes. So let's go back to LV display. Oops. Display. To C play? Close enough. And it shows each one of these is on that volume group. Cool. All right. So what we need to do first, we have our root, 23 gig, cool. What we need to do is we need to go to home and shrink home. So we've got our little guys and then home. And we're basically going to knock a chunk off, but I think by default it knocks a chunk off this side, which is not ideal, but it is where we are. Hang on real quick. Burb. All right, fun little transition. Just got some memory being delivered and I don't want it sitting outside. Okay, so yeah, I think by default it chops it off the end. Well, let's see. Let's validate that. So I want to, but I'm not sure. Yes, I'm shrinking the logical volume. You must ensure that it's not using the space in the logical volume that is being reduced. For this reason, it's recommended that you use resize. Okay. I'm going to be doing this live, so that'll be fun. I feel like I should move it because I always look over here, but I want to be looking. All right, hold please. Boom, boom. And that might work, right? Because then I'm kind of looking at you. I mean, means most of the time I'm looking away from you, but it makes more sense when I look at chat. Eh. All right, so we want to lop off what? What do we got here? Boom. VG home is 429. What is our other temp? Oh, what's swap? Swap is 1 gig. I wonder if I could just replace swap with var-temp. Because var is 9 gig. Temp is about 2 gig. Means I probably want to make it about 2 gig as well. So let's grab this. We're going to throw it in here. This shrinks it to, I'd like to just shrink it by, can you shrink it by? Oh, okay, so I could just do minus. So if I just do minus 2048. All right, so if I do lvreduce, resize, minus 2048, big M, right? VG is dev mini 3-VG slash home. Hang on your butts. Do you want to unmount home? Can I unmount home? I mean, I'm root right now, so that shouldn't matter, right? I mean, I'm in it. That could be a problem. Cannot proceed. Okay, let's just go here and let's try it again. Target is busy. Of course, target's busy. Okay, so I probably need to set it to do next reboot. I'll bet it's something like that. But what's currently using home? Yeah, there's probably all kinds of things. Let's see, test. Let's do lvreduce on reboot. There's got to be a way to do it so that it happens afterwards. Oh, that position's chopping my head off, isn't it? How's that? Oh, that's way worse. Well, apparently I'm going to have to screw around with my settings. Let's do this. Maybe that'll help. Got offset pretty quick. And I probably shouldn't be doing this live, right? Man, I look red with no color correction. All right, we'll just leave that. We're gonna plow forward. It's not possible to shrink it while it's mounted, so we need to do it from a live CD. Oh, see, this is like what? The whole point is that it's easy to migrate this stuff around, and yet here we are, making it not easy. Like the entire purpose of me using LVM was so that this could happen easily. I do like this. I mean, it'll tell me the commands, but unfortunately it doesn't tell me what's actually open. Although that kind of tells me that because this user's running, So the only way for me to do this might be to log in as root, which means I just have to make that available. So I'm gonna have to unmount home. And yeah, the only way for me to do that is to allow root to log in with SSH, log out, and then go back in. Okay. Let's create a new one here. Oh, right, I need to allow a password as well. Jeez. And I need to restart it. So we'll go back to host base, ignore, permit empty, interactive is no. I might have to switch that to yes. And password authentication, there we go. Still using sudo. And now that shouldn't be a problem anymore. Have root login. I have public key authentication is commented out. Password authentication is yes. Maybe that. I don't know why that would do it, but that was it. All right, so now oh, that's funny. There we go. And we're back. Oh, cool. We still have my command here. So that. Yeah, there we go. Easy peasy, right? No problem. We're just trying to secure this thing, so we have to unsecure it to secure it. All right, so now it should mount, remount, right? Does it remount? Dev mapper home, home, good. Okay. And now if we do lv display, dispoly, it's 427, so it's a little bit smaller. Now we need to create another one. So that's lvcreate. And I think I just call you var-temp like that, right? Here, let's look it up. Well, let's do it this way. Do it the right way. When I first started with Linux, I was using BSD, and wow, I am really washed out. When I first started on Linux, I was using BSD, and I just did everything with the man pages. And it was, I feel like I learned a lot more. Now I just go and search it, and I search it every time. I don't need to remember it because it's all right there, right? Okay, so yeah, it should just be lvcreate, and then the -L is where we take up the rest of the space. Okay. Wait. Options, position. does that even mean? I was like, oh, okay, I'll just go at it. Create a linear LV. Size. Which volume group? So wait. So this is lvcreate-l or -- size with the size, which volume group we're pulling from. Type linear is implied, so we don't need that. Extents. Common options. Physical volume. Why do we care about the physical volume? This is why I stopped reading man pages. They started just doing this crap, where it's like, here's what you type. Okay, why? And they became like 15 pages long of not incredibly useful stuff. lvcreate creates a new LV in a VG. Cool. For standard LVs, this requires allocating logical extents from the VG's free physical extents. Got that. Cool. Okay, so I don't need to, so I can just do, oops, come back. So if I do -L2048M, and we're going to call it var-temp. Invalid argument for extents. Do I have to do... Oh, it was a capital L, wasn't it? Volume group name expected. I just have to call you var-temp. Volume group var-temp not found. Cannot process volume group. Dev mini 3-VG. Do I have to do it the other way around? Physical volume var-temp not found. Well, All right, let's try and just cheat, shall we? Dash name is var-temp. Okay. So now, LV display, we have var-temp. All right, so now I need to go into file system table, not fast tab, like I always think it in my brain. And I do dev mapper dev mini 3-VG Wait, what? That doesn't seem right. We won't save that. Oops. We want to... We have vg home, vg root, vg swap, temp, vg var, and vg var. Oh, it is there. Okay. I was like, did we have to create that? No, it creates itself. Okay. Like I said, it's been a while since I've dealt with LVM, just because I have problems with it. I'm probably gonna have to do something screwball with the existing. I wonder if it matters if I try to make this readable. Yeah. This is going to be ext4, and you're going to be defaults, no dev, no suid, no exec, 0, 2. And while 99%, well, let's just do it. Let's do it the right way. Is that really it? var-tmp, wrong file system type, bad option, bad super block, missing code page or helper program or other error. Missing code page or helper program. What? Is it because I did a tab instead of a space here? I mean, that would be silly, but oh, we're here. We need to get rid of swap anyway. Wrong file system type, bad option, bad super block. I mean, I copied and pasted it. Do I need to do it that way? Because that's the actual name for it. I mean, according to that, that is... Why did it put 2 dashes in it? All right, for the sake of argument. Right? Right? I mean, worst case scenario, it doesn't come back up. And we start over. Again. And this thing really is... Hey, that's better. Just wasn't collecting enough light, maybe? Well, that's less than wonderful. Oops. All right, what we might do, or what I'm probably going to have to do, is throw a monitor on it and just see what it's doing. More than likely it's complaining and just hanging, and it'll pass it, but we want to make sure, right? So let me disappear for a sec. Whoop. Nope. Wrong whoop. That's the whoop. I'll leave the mic on though, because why not? Okay. Luckily, I've moved my monitors around, so I actually have a semi-spare HDMI cable within reach. Be nice if I had like an HDMI splitter that I could send. Just be like, oh hey, what do you know? It came up. I didn't have to do nothing. It probably was, like I said, just hanging. Come on back. There we go. Let's pop over there and what? Okay. It's probably in single user mode then. To be continued. Give root password for maintenance. Yep, it's in emergency mode. Oh wow, it failed for quite a bit because of that. Oh, that's fun. All right, spare keyboard. I'll just make the change back and reboot it. I'm gonna guess it's not letting that change happen because the folder already exists. So we're gonna figure that one out. Like how to remap it or something. Something else I'm realizing I've got to do. Got these Mac Minis just sitting here and they're on their side so that I can stuff more of them in the shelf. But they're not particularly stably mounted. That needs to change. So we're we're just going to comment that out. And reboot. Wait for it to come up. Thankfully, this time I'm looking at a screen that it's on. So I'll see that happen or not. And yeah, we're back. Oh, there's a whole lot of failed firmware. Oh, it's still getting an IP. Wait a minute. Why you no ping? It says it's up. Come on. There we go. Why is it even spending time trying to get an IP? It's static. Yeah, burn that bridge when we come to it. Human. I guess I just need to believe when an error message pops up that it is in fact an error message. So that's what I did. I just, as root, commented this out and it came back. So now if I look at var-temp, it's got two, I think those are directories. Yeah, it's got two directories in it and they get updated, it looks like just at boot time. So if I do, I don't want to remove it. I want to just move it. Is that going to work? And then I do mount-a. Oh. Wrong file system type, bad option, bad super block. Do I need to format it? Is that the issue? Cannot create directory var-temp. Okay. Wrong file system type, bad option, bad super block. So what does that mean? I mean, I know what it means, but what does it mean? Okay, but that's just saying use the utils. I don't care about the utils. I'm not trying to mount it. I mean, it should pick this up on its own. I'm not understanding. Right? All right, so solved. You do that. So I want to mount it, and I can create one, right? All right, let's just go. Let's just look at it holistically. Let's look at the whole steps. So we already got the physical volumes. We just carved off a piece of it. So create an LV. That's what we did. So according to LV display, var-temp, and they're looking for LV path. So is that my issue? I just did it the other way around. Right. We have VG temp. Cannot make, okay. Wrong file system type. Did I spell one of the options wrong? Maybe I should just set it to default first. let's scale it back a little bit. I did. Default's .nodev. Special device does not exist. Geez, if I had just done... It's right there. Can't open block dev. Note to self, always check dmessage. this needs to go away. Maybe we just go with that. Well, let's see. I made the file system. Cool. Create a mount point. Okay, we did. See, but why is that? So what this seems to be saying is that if I look at LV display, I have LV path, which is this, is what I should be using. But why is that what I should be using if here they're not using that? Let's see if there's something with dev mapper. Oops. There's probably something to add it there. Well, no, but it is, it's there, so I don't care about this. So this wants me to bypass it. Let's see what this thing says. Because this is all going to become important for the next one. So this creates this physical volume, don't care. All right, you know what? Let's just do it. Because frankly, I just want it to work. I don't care if it matches, right? Unknown, what? Did I spell it wrong? System control reload. Details. All right, so now it's got that. Let's all right, we're going to try and reboot again, see what happens. I would like for this to work, please. So let's see. All right, I should be able to print one, right? Yeah, I mean, something like that. I stick 3 of them together. Maybe I put some feet on it or something that mounts it better to the ground. Although it doesn't really, I need some airflow. I'd like to be able to attach a couple of fans like in between each one because they definitely get warm. But this is not a terrible concept right here. I kind of like it. I could probably just add some stuff here for cable management because I've got power network that needs to be routed. We'll save you for later. No thanks. I know Prusa, but still. What other options? Oh, it booted. All right. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. Okay, we kept all of those there, so now we need to go back to here. And I'm gonna bet it signed those out. And yes, it did. Admin, secret password. Then how's about we select an agent? We're looking at mini 3. All we care about is failed. All right, so there's that. Now we need a separate partition. Oh, that one's gonna be. I mean, I understand why on that one. I don't know if I agree with it. The biggest reason for that one is that it's actually fairly easy to just generate a bunch of logs and then you can crash a machine just by generating logs. But if you have a separate partition for it, then your main partition isn't going to run out of space, and you know it's not going to crash the machine. It's just going to stop being able to send logs, which is definitely a plus. It's weird that it says ensure temp is configured, but it is. Anyway, but it did pick up var-temp. Alright, so we have to make another var-log. What's a good size for var-log for Kubernetes? So it's 50 meg default byte per container as maximum. What's the size is greater than 100 meg? So it'll rotate it at 100 meg. So maybe that'll be 5, right? We want at least a couple of days worth, or a couple of histories worth if it starts jamming out. So we want at least 5. So we'll give it a gig. How much is var-log? See, I know I've already done this on stream before. Okay, how do I figure out from the command line exactly how much space is being taken up by a directory? But did I remember it? No, here I am, looking it up again. du-ish-sh. Alright, so du-sh. I'm surprised actually that the CLI warning doesn't have like a big flashing red warning that root is allowed to log in remotely. That seems like something that it would have an issue with. 48 meg. So if I'm going to give, it seems like 2 gig is fine. So we're just going to carve another 2 gig off of let's go find our lvreduce back here in our history. Or lvreduce. Yep, another 2 gig. Why not? And at least this time, it should go faster, right? Should. Now my plan is to go back and actually, this should be in my notes, because I need var-log-temp. These are all things that have to be created technically at runtime, so they're going to have to go into my custom Debian image, or I'm just going to have to do them when I install Debian. var-temp/temp. We've got, what am I missing? I feel like I'm missing something. Did we do something else? We haven't done anything else. Okay. This is lv to create. I feel like the plural of LV is LV. Like you wouldn't call them LVs. It's like moose. Multiple moose is moose. Okay, so temp, var-temp. Now we need to do var-log. So we've carved it off. Now we're gonna go, we'll just do it the same way. lvcreate dash uppercase L 2048 big M, and we need it out of dev mini 3 dash vg, and name is going to be var-log. Oops. Volume group dev mini. Did I spell it wrong? I did spell it wrong. I mean, if that's not par for the course, that's not par for the course. All right, so now we need to do, LV display. And now we have one for var-log. It's terrible that it's putting it at the bottom. I wish I could reorder them somehow. But whatever. We need the path, which is EU. Need to do make file system.ext for var-log. Cool. And just do the same thing. Boom. This is almost definitely, not even almost, this is definitely going to fail. And I think we need the same permissions on that one, but let's validate, huh? Oof, we need var-log-audit too. See, and like we already have one for home. That's the one that we're tearing off of. What size is var-log-audit? But it actually says that we don't need to put anything on there specific, so we'll just do that. All right, I can't do it. I'm still doing sudo. Can't do it. It's bothering me just far too much. It's gonna have to be 4. I think it'll take all the white space out, but I don't want to find out the hard way. Right, my OCD I like being able to read things at a glance. It's a weird thing, I know. But it is what it is. Oh, that's so much better. Let's see if it... Sweet. Okay. Mucho better. Now we have to do it again for audit. So it's df-sh. No, du. No such file or directory. And I think that's because I need to install another program. And there are some things, actually, what is in, because I think this might be related to aid. And if it's related to aid, I'm not sure I want to use it. So this creates the audit file. What creates these audit files? Oh, it's the Linux audit framework. Do we have something in here about the audit framework, or is it just, let's see. Because I really don't like what aid does to systems performance. And it shouldn't be this bad, but I've seen it and it'll get wonky. And it's probably just a configuration issue, which means I'll probably just backburner it for a little bit. It creates a database from the regular expression rules that it finds in config files. Once the database is initialized, it can be used to verify the integrity of files. So I mean, would basically just have to make it ignore everything in Kubernetes, I guess. That'd probably be step one. But yeah, we're putting that on the back burner. But for the time being, let's look at the Linux audit. So it's auditd. So but that means is it just like it's not complaining about it not being there? Is it there and I'm just not realizing it? No. Bootloader, app armor, message, remote login, local login, GDM, timesync, Chromie, NTP. This one's going to be interesting too. I think that's going to be its own thing just because the way that the networking on Kubernetes works, I've got to figure that out. I think I can get away with just with UFW. If it's going to this IP address, let it pass. No one cares. But yeah. NFT list tables. Will not filter network traffic. Okay. Ensure IP tables, but why do I want IP tables if I'm using UFW? There we go. auditd is enabled. Okay, so yeah. We'll get there basically. I mean, I'm gonna guess this is something like 50 meg tops. var-log audit log is very large. Something like 8 meg each. The max of 40. Okay, so I mean, I'm feeling generous. Give it a gig. The last thing I want to do is be resizing these things later. It's more than I want to deal with. So let's go back to reduce. We're gonna say 1024. I mean, 100 meg is probably enough, but I'm not really using the storage on these for the most part. Anything large storage wise goes else. Well, I am looking to ramp that up, but by then I can probably look at adding some external storage of some variety. All right, so we took a gig off of there. I should be keeping track of that as well, the size of each of these. Maybe we want the name, we want the mount point, and size. So this one is auto-generated. var-temp, I called var-temp, var-log. This next one is going to be var-log-audit, because why not? And you're going to be one big G. And let's make sure of what our display sizes look like. So we made our log 2 gig. We need var-temp, another 2 gig. And temp, I think on its own is like, oh, temp, less than, we'll just say 2 gig. All right, so we just reduced, we're making a new one now. And it's going to be var, log audit. And you're going to be 1024. Oh man, I just realized I forgot to edit. I'm not playing Shadowrun. Oh well, let me finish this and then I'll do that. That was Friday. All right, so now we make a file system. We want to do LV display. We got our new one. Our LV path is right here. This has got to be the worst game of Shadowrun anyone's ever seen. Man, I'm like an hour and a half in. ext4, we're going to say defaults 0 and 2. Now this is going to be interesting because I know var-log is in use. But I don't really care about the logs right now. So what's gonna happen? Yeah, didn't think so. Wait, I did make the file system, right? Yeah, okay. Unknown parameter. What? Wow. Defaults. Where were you on that one, chat? Failed to create unit, var-log mount. It already exists. Duplicate entry. What? Oh, crap. Yeah, that would be a problem, wouldn't it? var-log, okay. Touch. No. Do that again. There we go. All right, no complaints that time. Okay, let me fix my stream info. Geez. All right, you don't want to see my Spiffy Zelda shirt. So it's hardening day 4. And we're going to put me in the right category. And done. But let me check one more thing real quick. Just because I'm curiosity. Go back to here. Okay. Now we're in there. Silly. Where was I? Okay, so at this point, we've got... Where'd this do? Oh yeah, that wasn't useful. That was related to that. Let's go back to page 1. All right, this one won't go away. This one won't go away. We'll have to figure those out. We've got that. We've got that. That already exists. Let's make sure that that's the case. Where is... I don't have a dev shim. Dev mapper. Add no exec to the fourth field for the dev shim partition. I don't have a dev shim partition in here. So, do we show one? Dev mapper. Dev mapper, dev SDA. And dev mapper. Right, let's just temp file system on dev shim. Okay, so it is there. But it's not getting mapped by it's not getting mapped here. Let me see if I can figure that one out. Because the instructions here are to edit that file, but it's not getting pulled by that. Do I just put it in there and then it'll override it? That's probably the reality. You can add or modify the line to configure it. Your salt file system is listed in your, okay. I do still need to go and delete that. Man, look at all this assistance that this guy's getting. And he's like, that's not what I asked. Alright, hang on. Look in mount grub, and there's nothing obvious there. So how is this getting mounted? Correct. You really wouldn't want it to be much larger. Temp file system defaults to half your RAM. Okay, so I just added in there. That's what it seems like. So let's look for it. Oh, we have it right here. And they have the 0, 0. Okay, but wait, where is it mounted? Those ones are backwards. So it's temp file system. There's the options. So is this just going to be different? Oops. But it wants me to add what? No exec? Boom, boom, boom. Yep, no exec. Oops. No errors. That doesn't seem to have made a difference, but it said this had a little bit different. Go away. Mount-o remount temp file system. There we go. Now it's got no exec. Yeah, I guess that was enough. Sweet. All right. Now, for the sake of argument, let's just refresh, see if any of these have been picked up yet. Number 67. We're at 67. Okay. That's a no. We'll add USB to our CS file. Oh, whoops, I forgot to bring myself back. And all of my chunky blocky glory. Just in time for me to say, hey, gotta be right back. And we're back-ish. Need a little extra hydration. Hi, Hydration. How are you doing? All right. And I had a thought, creating some of this stuff on the Raspberry Pi is going to be entertaining. It's a lot of things I should have done quite a while ago and haven't. Again, we'll burn that bridge when we come to it. All right, so now we took away USB. We're skipping that for now. Permissions on bootloader config are configured. So grub config says should be 400. And what do we know about 400? This is something, man, learning IP addresses and the way that their binaries laid out taught me mucho about Linux in general. So for those of you that know, go have a drink or something. But if you look at the Linux permissions, it's 4, 2, and 1, or of course 0. That's the binary for it. Well, that isn't. It's more like that. So 0 is, of course, 0. Then, of course, you have 1, which is still 1. If you have 0, 1, then you have 2. If you have 0, 0, 1, you have 4. If you put these together, like 1, 1, 0, you have 6. If you have all of them, then you have 7. So permissions of 7, 7, 7 is 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Or it's read. Let me scroll down this a little bit. Or you're looking at 1, 1, 1, or 0, 0, 0 is read, write, execute, or do I have that backwards? Well, 7's everything. Is read, write, execute? I believe it is. Let me double check before. It's 764. Oh. But basically just following the numbers. Oh yeah, read, write, execute. I had it right. So it's RW. It's X in boom. That's why it looked weird to me. But yeah. So if there's A1, then you have execute. If there's A2, then you have write. And if there's a 4, then you have read. And then you add that up. And you do it 3 times for user, group, and everyone else. And then you get into the weird stuff like the sticky bit and all. Don't get me started there. But, okay, so we need 400, which is read. And that was on a different... I'm sorry, your side is on a different track. Grub.conf is, what's RW? That is 600. So we need to make it 400. And now this one's handled. Next. Hey, we're on page 2. Ensure bootloader password is set. We just took away write configuration, so it's read only now. Of course, we're root, so root don't care. Alright, so we need to create an encrypted password with grub make password. Are there other options? Because I think this is just the encryption that's used, so let's see. Pseudo-random function, hash-based, HMAC, with a salt value. Is it outdated? I've just learned encryption is outdated and vulnerable. Now, is this something that can be used? So if we go back here, the command is grub make password dash. That's the only option. And this is one of those things, pretty much every time you get just kind of a recommendation, look at it. Why? Why is this being recommended? Why is this being recommended? And are there other options, right? Oh, make password. Let's see if are there other? All right, grab 2 passwords. Well, this is Ubuntu, so this isn't really a question sort of thing. So I guess the question is, what are the attacks? Because if the attacks are all automated and it's happening at boot up, that basically means someone's stealing your machine. And then they're going to try and do this? No, they're going to pull the hard drive, or they're just going to wipe the hard drive and move on because they just want to sell the stupid thing. So in my security posture, I'm just going to call it acceptable. So let's go back to the destructions here. Enter the password. Re-enter the password. Okay, and then it wants us to add it. So what is our super secret lab password going to be? I mean, we can always use my favorite. . what? I haven't even installed this yet. La-di-da. Let's do 10. Oichi. Oops. All right, so we created the hash. I'm more than likely going to be recreating this anyway, but we'll go through the process. Boom, boom. So, show notes. Grab hash. I think I just need to grab it from there. And just call that good enough. Now, what's our next step? We need to add it to the config file. Set super users. Username, password encrypted. The username super user should not be contained in the OO header file, as it could be overwritten. Okay, so we definitely don't want to enter a password every time. We just want the password there, right? I mean, it seems kind of dumb, but if there's a requirement to be able to reboot without entering the password, because yeah, everything's going to be remote. So I guess I'm creating a username. Let's take a look at that. Grub config. Let's go back here. Specific menu entries, okay. And this wants me to put it in so it's got the username, set of users. All right, let me just, I'm gonna try this real quick. Because I'm curious, that should just create a file, but it doesn't say like where the username is. Parse error near, okay. guessing that's here. And then we'll just copy the hash. Get rid of encrypted password. Yeah, that didn't do anything at all because it doesn't have a file name that it's sending it to. So that's super user. All right, let's just edit it directly. It's under boom, 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 boom. Grub.d. We don't want it in the header. It says it has 40 and 41 custom. What's 40 custom? And what's 41 custom? So is there a number that I need to use? Because do we want it to load first? Do we want it to load last? There are 3 steps. Authorized users must be identified, their passwords must be designated, and menu items to be protected must be identified. Users and passwords are manually added to the header file. But this says specifically don't add them to the header file. Okay. Contradictory information, but at least maybe we can get the layout. So we set super users, and password is yeah, that's funny. It's the exact same command, but it's saying to put it in the place that they don't want it. And if they want it in header, then they want it loading first. So I guess I want to do like that. Actually, I mean, it's right there, right? All executable files in this directory are processed in shell expansion order. native boot, third-party apps. You can add an entry to boot another OS. And then adjust. Okay. So it's going to need that EOF, right? Is there anything in here about users? Generic super user only. Wow. Why'd you spin off like that? Okay, and then regular users just get that. Oh, well, it says to add it to the end. So that means in theory, if I add it, if I just create O1 users, oops. And then I add the EOF, then I set super users equals me, then password me, and then paste you, and then I do this reloady thing that it's talking about. Oh, we also need to add, edit 10. And we're looking for this. We want to set you to unrestricted. And then we'll find out if this gives an error. At least I hope that if it fails, it gives us an error, right? That'd be nice. Let you know that you screwed up. All right. So now we've got Grub updated, allegedly. I think it's time to make sure that the thing can actually start, because that one's kind of a hinky one. And has me a little bit concerned. Seems all right. Yeah. All right. So far, so good. So what is our next target? Bootloader. Oh, we need app armor and what do we got here? Oh, that's the firmware errors. Okay. And it still hasn't brought the network card up. I need to figure out why that's happening. Not a fan of that. Back default grub and add app armor 1 and security app armor. App armor is an interesting one. I had it in learning mode on my main workstation for a while, and it was interesting seeing what programs did what. Like Steam is a chatty little app. And we're back. I'm just going to leave root enabled until I'm positive that we're not doing any more stuff that requires it. Okay, so we need to modify this file because we want app armor to be required essentially. We need to add app armor 1 and security app armor to the grub command line. Always never copy paste. You'll definitely always never get it wrong. All right. And you know what, before I go and update grub and try a reboot, let's... Okay, nothing else there. We'll let that run while we move on to the next one. Everything looks, oh wait, oh no, everything looks good. Okay. We're just going to get rid of all of this. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I'm just going to clear it out completely. And I think it just wants something like, you will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Maybe I just... Hi there. At some point, I remember back in the days, there was a lot about the MOTD, like especially writing bots for IRC channels, which is how the chat on this works. But just the whole having cool stuff in the message of the day, like, hey, what's the weather like? And, you know, just pick some random place. I would love to do that at some point, especially for the machines that I actually log into a lot. I don't log into these directly as often. That might change, we'll see. But yeah, it'd be cool to have just like different other stuff. All right, so we edited the message of the day. There's another one, I think. Okay. Yeah, we did mountd, and then the login issue.net. Same sort of thing. Which is going to be hello there. My mountd. I have red socks. Because why not? Alright, and then the other one we have to edit, I think, is just that issues. Yeah. Oh, I think I needed the /n at the end, huh? Well, we'll see. Actually curious if I do this now. It just says hi there. Cool. We do not care about GDM. Depackage. Why would GDM be installed? It was not installed, and no information is available. Yeah, that's a false negative. Edit or create a file, and edit or add the following file. Yeah, it's not. Depackage-s, right? Okay, so that's false. I wish there was something in here where I could just like check a box and say, nope, not a problem. Timesync should absolutely be configured. Remove additional timesync methods. Why would I remove NTP? This daemon has been added for synchronizing time cars. It is implemented in an SNTP client in contrast to NTP, such as Crony or NTP reference server that is only implements a client side and does not bother with full NTP. I wish it told me which one of these failed, because that would be super helpful. NTP. Crony is not installed. Systemd. What? Unknown verb. Oh. No. Oh, yeah. backwards. Okay. Oh, it's using the wrong time server, but it is running. Time date control status. It's looking for NTP enabled, yes. NTP synchronized. Oh, well, it says system clock synchronized, so is that the error? NTP enabled. It also doesn't have NTP enabled, it has NTP service. Let's see, time sync D. I'm choosing this file. Is there, I should have checked. Nope. So it has fallback. If I do 10.1.2430, I think it is. All of a sudden, I can't remember my own IP addresses. .30, yep. Contacted time server. Cool. RTC and local time zone. Otherwise, we're good to go. All right, so this is mostly another false positive. I should probably be keeping, well, when I'm done with all of this, everything that's left is either going to be something I didn't do on purpose or a false positive. Ensure Crony is configured, but I just uninstalled Crony. Ensure systemd time sync is configured. Package dash s. Okay, let's run their entire thing and see. Oops. So this is the command that got run. If the problem is just a comma, that would be hilarious. But that's kind of the downside of scripting in Linux. Package query. Status needs a valid, but S is not. Oh, because another. Wait, what? Did I get rid of? Where'd my comma go? Oh, I think it's. NTP is not installed. Depackage info to examine the archive files. Okay, so yeah. End of the day, none of this is true. So we don't need to worry about systemd. We don't need to ensure either of these. This is all just time-related stuff, obviously. DCCP. If the protocol is not required, it is recommended that the drivers not be installed. Datagram congestion control protocol that supports streaming media and okay. DCCP. I don't think Kubernetes needs it, but let's see. Oh, it wants, oh, nice. Okay. So it wants it blacklisted. So it wants it done here. So we'll just do both of those right now just because Kubernetes is recommending it. So I wonder if I should rename these to file systems and then protocols. That makes more sense, doesn't it? Oh, that is... Oops. I do need the .conf, don't I? And it's going to be the same thing. We want TCCP, and we're also going to have SCTP. And according to this, it wants it blacklisted, but we just do which, as we discussed at the beginning of this runs. So if you attempt to install these, rather than attempting to install them, it's just going to run this program called bin true, which is going to say, yeah, no problem, done. It's not actually going to install it. Install that true. Okay. Next, we're on page 3, boss. Ensure a table exists. Did one of those just fall off? Oh, we have more. Okay. TCP, we need RDS. Reliable datagram sockets. What about, let's look for RDS. Relational database, no. All right, we're going to disable everything first, and if we get errors when we're installing Kubernetes, we'll figure it out, right? RDS. And tpick. All right, and now it's UFW. This is going to be interesting. All right, so I need to have that happen. Huh? Oh, no, it's allow. And we're going to have to look up the rules for Kubernetes, and we'll just make a custom rule. Actually, let's look at that right now, because why not? Okay. Imply that a rule is blocking it. All right, so that has all the things. All right. KUFW, no, UFW. No, it's not a rule, it's a application. App profile, that's what it is. Yeah, I thought it was INI. Port line can specify multiple ports, otherwise it defaults to both. Protocols have pipe, okay. Where is the file? Ah, there we go. Why would they put UFW in front of it? Except for OpenSSH. Okay, we want... Actually, let's do this. Kubernetes. It's interesting though. It must have an alias somewhere because it's OpenSSH, but if you say SSH, it just knows. Description. Is the best container orchestration since sliced bread. Wow, I spelled orchestration like an orc. We'll leave it. That's right, I said we'll leave it. All right, let's copy pasta this guy over. We only have one UDP. That's nice. And I didn't try to copy the one UDP. But I did try to pretty sure I'm gonna have to do a little bit more, but we shall see. Because I know once I enable, or once Metal LB, the load balancer, is running, it's going to have an issue here. Right, that's how it's expecting it according to. And 4789 isn't anything useful. No, okay. I wonder if you can, where's the alias? Because I'd rather have it say something like K8s or what have you, right? All right, well, every time I'm like, no, I got it. Nope. I mean, I respect the hustle, but it's just we don't need you anymore. You're not useful. Did I already close that one? Well. Let's see. All right, so now if I do UFW allow, not find a profile matching. Let's see. Reload the firewall. UFW app list. It should be right there. Is this where I need to do reload? List. Do we have it now? Kubernetes, cool. Does that mean if I do no, no such luck. Okay, so it goes by the file name. Make sure I got it. That's great. So why does SSH give me the port, but this just gives me the name? That means I'm going to have to port scan this to make sure that that in fact is true. Let's see, so status numbered? No. Maybe it's verbose. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. That got us where we want to go. Next. UFW is installed and UFW is enabled. It still says 67. Ensure table exists. NFT. I don't think that's even installed. Oh, okay. NFTables doesn't have any default tables. Without a table being built, NFTables will not filter network traffic. Run the following command. Let's see what we have to do for NFTables and Kubernetes. Let's see, tables. Okay, so we just have to make sure that what our Kubernetes proxy is set up as. Now, this is where it gets a little bit conflicting because it wants me to set up NF tables, right? So, hey, it had... Interesting. Okay. Tables hold chains, each table. I mean, I feel like this is double it up, but... We're going to create a table. And tables doesn't have any default. Okay. Ensure the base chains. NFT list rule sets. Oh. Rule set. I mean, that sure looks like a rule set to me. I think those are all there now. I think this might be, it just hasn't been updated. Yeah, input, output, forward. No, it's before. Never mind. After, reject, track. Yeah, and then UFW starts creating them. Okay. But does it have filter hook forward priority? Okay, so yeah, it's looking for this. So I'll bet that just wasn't created at the time. And that filter input LO accept. User. Okay, I think it still doesn't have the loop back. That's funny. Copying and pasting their instructions. Could not process rule. No such file or directory. Input. So it's because it's INET. It should be UFW. Is this only looking for INET? Hook input LO. All right. List rule set. Not exactly what I was after, but okay. All right, UFW added all that. We can put you away. Which means we actually probably want to delete this INET rule set. Although this is still requiring looking for table inet. This is just looking for something else. Okay. We're going to leave it alone for the time being. Oh, now it's back to asking for IP tables. I thought we'd passed that. Didn't I scroll through that already? All right, let me validate. NF tables and UFW at the same time? Seems not. You should not configure UFW and then edit the resulting rules with NF tables at the same time. You should only use one or the other. Okay. So what that means is that IP tables and the NFT handled. That's false negative. And now it's ensure NF tables is not installed. Okay, so why would they both be there? Like that's default install. Why would they both be there? So now how do I make sure what UFW is using? UFW backend. Actually, I should. I'm already here. I forgot the rules, right? So let's try ufw.conf first. Enable those yes, log level is low. All right. Sys control. This is just basic stuff. All right. So how do I know which backend it's using? You should use NF tables. That's new. I understand. NF tables is already being replaced. What? Okay. This is 2 years ago, though. IP tables is actually using NF tables. Okay. So what does that mean here? Not BF, although that's on my mind now. Espen. It's Espen. Of course it's Espen. Okay, so that's just pointing to which is pointing to IP tables NFT. Okay. So as of this moment, technically they're all the same thing. So another false positive or false negative in here. All right, let's move on to auditd, because this is actually kind of interesting to me. I've never used auditd. Right. Something new and hopefully not confusing even a little bit. Yeah, right. All right. Why is it taking me back to grub? Oh, because it's back to auditd. Okay. Well, let's look at the comp first. Oh, great. Just a bunch of stuff that's mildly descriptive. Okay, I kind of feel like I'm going to be just running it and seeing what annoys me. See, I don't like when that happens, when it just hangs. Like this is one of the things that happens with aid as well. It's just like, maybe I'm working, maybe I'm not working, maybe I'm just using up all your system resources, maybe just a little bit. Doesn't look like it. I used sudo. Security auditing service. Wow. Wait, so now this is using it? Why are you using it now? I installed OS Query quite a while ago because it was helpful for wazuh, but why? Why? There's nothing else in there. So how do I change? Because it seems like I need an auditd folder and an OS query folder, because otherwise there's going to be some confusion. That's not getting much larger. All right, we're gonna okay, that's kind of funny. Wait. Dash audit. Oh, there's nothing in there. Okay. Weird. Okay, so it's installed, but like, now what? Ensure auditing for processes that start prior to auditd enabled. Oh, I may need to reboot before I even see it. Oh. Extra options. Auditd clean stop. Interesting. I just figured I'd see if it was there. Now we need audit equals 1, and there was another one. I guess 8192 is sufficient. I don't know why, but during boot, if audit 1, then the backlog will hold 64 records. If more than 64 records are created during boot, auditd records will be lost and potential activity could go undetected. Okay. Make sure we don't have another grub config that we have to mess with. Doesn't look like it. Holy cow, it's already been 3 hours. All right, well, we've got auditd running. Let's do one reboot. And then that's going to be where we call it for today. Warning OS prober systems. Okay. Let's do a reboot. Make sure she starts up properly. I can't even say I'm calling this machine a she, so I don't know why I said she, but they. We'll make sure they start up properly. How's that? And we should disable root since we'll be back to it tomorrow, and I'm not going to turn it off for that. I do need to get rid of this error about the firmware. Probably need to download it and include it in my custom image just to make sure. Started up fine. Still starting up the NIC. Come on. You know you want to. And we're green. Actually, I shouldn't be doing this as root. See, it's still giving all of this. I need to figure out where that's coming from, because like the entire point of getting rid of all of this is so that none of this shows. We'll do that. We will do that. We're gonna go no. I feel like I should just copy all of these. Together into a bunch so that I can just say enable my root login and interactive. And I think that's all I changed, right? Yeah. And pound. Let's just make it good and readable. All right. What? Right. I got too used to being root. We're just going to put you right here. And then we'll just get rid of these. Bink. 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 Make sure I can still get back. All right. Well, I think that's where we're leaving it for today. So, it's been fun. For anybody who's watching this on the YouTubes, you know, like and subscribe if you want. If you want to keep up with this. Hopefully tomorrow, our focus will be just wrapping up these last couple ones. They go pretty quick once you get past the stuff that requires research, right? Syslog, auditd, some rules. Looks like stuff that we'll have to create. We'll have to change some of the stuff that we just changed. But yeah, I'm going to have to figure out how to make some of those not applicable because like the IP tables being installed. It's not technically installed, it's just pointing to NF tables, and it says NF tables isn't enabled, but it is. It's just fronted by UFW, so I've got to dig through that and figure out what's going on. But I think, yeah, that's going to be it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out, and see you guys tomorrow.